Come I help you?
I am heading to the train with 50 kilos of luggage, so we'll see how that goes. We just hopped off the airport train and now we're going to a different train to meet up with a friend. I challenged myself to not get a SIM card and not download any maps. I just was gonna navigate the train system and the city on my own, like an old-fashioned adventure. So my friend picked me up from the train station near his apartment and he let me crash at his place with his cousin. It was so much fun and we just did a lot of laughing and singing. And then that first night they took me out, a night out on the town, and we walked around a lot. We took the train and we saw the Eiffel Tower. I had no idea that it sparkled like that every hour at night. I love it. It was so beautiful. We were just walking around Paris. I did so much window shopping. Like, I was just overstimulated and amazed by the abundance of everything and all the lights and fashion, and also it was freezing cold. This was just such a contrast from the life I've been living the past 2 years, and seeing all these iconic structures that I've seen in movies and films.
Let's go.
I am navigating the train system here, the metro, and I'm getting a little bit lost, you know, so, but I'm working it, I'm figuring it out. Like, just when I think I'm on the right track, I'm lost, so I took like 2 or 3 wrong turns here. My friends helped me get this pass. So it's 25 euros for a week. And just got my certificate for my health. My anti-COVID certificate so that I can enter into cafes and restaurants and museums. Everything is moving so fast here, like people walk fast, the trains go fast, the cars. I feel like I'm always in a freezer. I went straight from the Southern Hemisphere summer to Paris winter. I'm just like acclimating, getting adjusted to Western life again. I'm also like pretty proud about how far my French has come along. I can read a lot and understand what people are saying, but I'm having a hard time speaking. I'm getting confused between like speaking in Malagasy and French. On this day, I was out on my own. I wanted to go to the Zoological Museum because a friend had recommended this immersive rainforest exhibit, but it was sold out, and I just did a little walk around the museum. I brought my sketchbook, but there was no place I felt comfortable sitting. Like it was kind of crowded and everyone was on the move. But it was such a cool display of evolution and the animal kingdom in general. So yeah, as I was saying, this is my first time leaving Madagascar since the beginning of the pandemic. And I feel like I've been living in a bubble. I think this is called culture shock. Things have changed for sure. I'm a little bit like tired and overwhelmed, but it's also really cool to see and experience new things. I was so excited to get blueberries. Notre Dame was fenced off, but I really loved how they turned the fencing into informative art. Honestly, the biggest adventure was riding the metro and figuring it all out. I was really tight on money, so I was limited in what I could do in Paris. I did go on a date in Paris, which was pretty romantic. We visited this church and we put our initials on a lock and threw the key in the river. The weather really cleared up on this day, and so I just went exploring aimlessly on foot around Paris. And I ended up back at the Notre Dame again. Another day in Paris. I am walking around looking for a cafe, but it's a beautiful day here. So I ended up near the Louvre, and I met up with a friend that I actually met in Madagascar, who is from Texas too, and we explored the museum together. We actually arrived in Paris around the same time, so before meeting up with him, I was just looking at the scenery, having a little bit of coffee, and really enjoying all the colors that Paris has to offer in winter. There she is! I'm obsessed with the pyramid. It's iconic. I entered through the underground entrance instead of going through the main entrance because it was super cold and I was waiting on my friend. So I went to Starbucks here. And it felt like a mall, honestly, in the lobby. I was pretty impressed with the architecture on the inside here. I couldn't believe I was actually visiting the world's largest art museum. This is what we saw on the inside. I think this is the Greek section. There's my friend. Classes. Lots of beautiful sculptures. Wow. There's something about these environments that put me in a really cheeky mood. It's inspiring, it's silly, it's exhausting. There's so much amazing artwork to look at. I mean, there's the Mona Lisa, there's Jesus. Well, we skipped the line to see the Mona Lisa and just viewed her from the back and the sides, you know. The Mona Lisa room was definitely one of my favorites. I felt really rushed, like we had to move quickly from room to room to like cover all the ground, and we just barely touched the surface. There's just so many details. Even the ceilings, look at that, it's extravagant. So much to take in, so little time. Then we entered a series of super fancy rooms, lots of fancy furniture, giant ceiling murals. I honestly don't know the history behind it. I was just in awe. I felt dirty just being in this room, like I didn't belong. Oh, I really enjoyed the urban bird watching here as well.
Hey, Jessie.
Hi.
Hey.
So we took an impromptu trip to Lyon, where we met with my good old buddy, Ray. He's from Madagascar too. Oh my goodness, he's such a goofball, and I loved getting to see him again after a couple years. We did a lot of walking here too, and it was surprisingly really artsy. It's so fast.
Shit, I broke my phone. Wait, somebody. Hello? Ay, Fatiana like yela.
We rented out an Airbnb, and it was a weird house. It was nice for us, you know, it was perfect. We got to play music and enjoy ourselves and enjoy each other's company, which is really what counts. It was super cozy. Before we said goodbye, we had a very wonderful breakfast together. Where was this? What was this called? It was so good. Highly recommend it.
That was weird.
I'm getting my first COVID test today. It is the second to last day in February of 2022 getting my first COVID test.
Good.
Thanks to my assistant here. It wasn't bad at all. It tickled a little. I am negative.
You're negative.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Ready to ride.
Ready to ride.